is Geoff, and this is my video out. I'm actually from outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so I'm not a native New Yorker. It was interesting. It's like a very nice place to grow up. When I go back now, I realize, oh wow, I really grew up in very privileged circumstances. My family is a little complicated, so it was weird for me growing up. But it's definitely a nice place to live. And I went to like a very liberal, progressive school, so I think it's actually pretty ideal circumstances to come out. But I was, I was coming out in like the late 90s or early aughts, and it was just really different then. So I'm gay, and I kind of always knew. I remember seeing, I think it's The Little Mermaid. I thought Prince Eric was like much more interesting than Ariel, although like she's a princess and she's fabulous. But I didn't really like admit to myself that I was gay until I was 16 or 17. I was an awkward kid. I liked girls' things, and like I remember the first Christmas present I got was a gem doll with lighted earrings. And I was like, this is so great. My parents were like, When I was really little, I feel like other kids didn't notice, and then they started to notice. But like I was a nerdy kid, so I think a lot of it just got chalked up to be me being a nerdy kid. And I remember some like very specific instances where people were like, oh, like Geoff doesn't like girls, or like, oh, Geoff doesn't like girls. And, that really just like hits a certain part of you inside, and you're like, it's like your heart freezes up. And I guess you just kind of hold on to it until you can deal with it later. I had a dear friend who I'm still very close with, named Ariana, and she moved across the country when we were in middle school. And contrary to everyone's expectations, we stayed in touch, and we would see each other like once every year or so. And so I guess it was the summer that I came out to myself. She visited the end of that summer or the start of that school year, and I came out to her. I talked to like some people online who were also like queer teens, but it was really wonderful to have someone supportive, and she's bi, so she was like, we're all, unbeknownst to us, we had another friend who turned out to be gay, like we were all just closeted from each other. My family was all pretty chill. My father's a professor, and he said, oh, Jeffrey, everyone in academia is gay. So, and my mom was a social worker, so she was just like, oh, I really want grandkids. And I was like, Mom, gay people can also have kids. Although, I don't have any kids right now, but I have a straight brother and he doesn't have kids either. And my father insisted that I go to therapy, but I think it was mostly about dealing with those issues, and not because I was gay. At the time I was like, this is very homophobic, Dad, but now I'm like, oh, actually it was really helpful. I actually have a queer aunt, so I have 2 aunts, and that's been really great and helpful. But I'm really unusual in having older queer family members, and we owe so much to people we've never met, and like we'll have great trouble sort of finding in the history books, but we owe them a big debt. Even when people react well, it's still really hard to come out. And now I'm kind of surprised when people don't know that I'm gay automatically. Someone's like, you're white. I'm like, what? No. But the difference between before I came out and after is really like very stark. And I remember people kept saying to me in my senior high school, oh, you look so different, like you seem so much more free, you seem so much more like yourself. I'm like, well, yeah, I am more myself. And it does feel like a great weight has been lifted. So even if people like talk in school, no one was, violent with me or like even particularly rude after. That's funny, people were sort of rude before I came out and would tease me, but once I did, no one did anymore, which was lovely. The issues that affect everyone affect us too. So, climate change is a big deal for everybody. I think poverty and homelessness is actually a really big deal. We don't talk enough about the fact that a huge number of homeless young people are LGBTQ. The numbers aren't totally clear, but like about third or half of the homeless children you see on the street are queer. And that shouldn't be happening. I mean, certainly in New York, like this should not be happening. But the truth is that people all over the country and all over the world like push their children out when they come out or when they think that they might be queer. And it's a huge problem. Even today, even when you can go and get married to your partner of the same sex, or when kids can come out as non-binary in middle school, for all these success stories we see, there's still that sort of deep undercurrent of fear and hatred. It gives me hope both that there are people with so much strength and that young people can do like a better job than we did. So, you know, my nieces and nephews, like they all seem to have it together. You know, they're in high school and college and fighting for queer rights, and that's very encouraging to see. I love that I'm at a point now where I'm really able to be open with people and like talk to people, and I will talk to strangers, I'll sort of talk to anybody. And I used to be very shy and sort of be very uncomfortable. My dad would do this same thing. I'd be like, Dad, don't talk to those people, or don't look at us. And now, you know, if I see someone on the subway reading a book I like, I'm like, oh, that's a wonderful book, and we can chat about it. Or when the train is late, we can be like, oh, the train's late again. But just this sort of, I feel like I've become much more open as I've gotten older. After I came out, like I've become more myself, and that's really nice. I will say, like as like a shy, nerdy, queer kid, really felt like I was so different from everyone else. And even in a sort of liberal bubble, it felt like I was just this weird aberration. And coming out and meeting other out people, I mean, on the one hand, makes me realize I'm not so special, but it's so nice to know that there were other kids like sitting at home watching Sailor Moon and feeling guilty about it.
I literally thought it's impossible for there to be another queer kid who's obsessed with only Star Trek. Like,
Love Star Trek.
yeah, I was like, no one else gets me.